Have one to you. Want me to throw? Here's the next one. Okay. Okay. You got it.
Got it? Okay. All right, like Britt said, board docs is down, so we're kind of. Anyway, everybody's here. Thanks for being here. We have no guests tonight. So with that, I'll move on to correspondence and public participation. This is the time of the meeting. If you have something to say about something that's not already on the agenda, we'll accept that now. I don't remember the exact wording, but something like
I've been
that.
saying it for 4 years.
I read it for 4
I
years.
put comments on the agenda.
So if there's any comments on anything not on the agenda, we'll accept
I
those.
mean, stop me if this is on the agenda, but I don't think so. All right?
Okay.
Okay. So my name is Nikki Barrett-Moline. And I'm here both as a parent and as an educator today. First off, as an out of district parent. And I am asking from looking at your calendar for you to please consider your start time.
Okay, so that is
Calendar.
calendar.
So start time is on there,
No, what
It's-
you're
yeah.
saying is related to calendar.
Yes.
so I can't talk on it?
Yeah,
We'll talk
just
about
wait
that
till.
when that comes up.
When that comes up, I can
Yes,
speak on it.
yes, you can.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, then I will wait on that piece.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Any other correspondence or public participation? Okay. Moving on, we have no old business, so we'll go right to new. 5.01 is resignations for our informational purposes only. And I do thank you for everything they did while they were here.
Yeah.
On these resignations. Okay. Okay. Employment, 5.02 employment substitutes.
Okay, I have a substitute. I'd like to recommend Brenda Minahan, but Chris, I'm gonna have to ask a quick question since we don't have it in board docs. Is that starting right now or for next school year? Currently, right? Okay, that's what I had
25, 26.
for the 25-26 school year. Thanks for clarifying.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Brenda Minahan, district substitute for the 25.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
5.03,
All right, I'd like to recommend for head football coach for the upcoming school year, 26-27, Rich Slater.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools approve Rich Slater, head CHS football coach for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
we have a motion and second. Any public comment on this agenda item? State
Hi.
your name, please.
My name is Johnny Dewar. I'm the Frank Bratton Middle School head football coach. I'd like to just say a couple of quick words that's come to my mind on this topic. I'd like to express my excitement and overall support of Mr. Slater becoming the next high school head football coach at Colstrip High School. Not only is Mr. Slater, I feel, a highly qualified applicant with years of experience coaching football, I feel like he's an advocate for the local athletes in our community. I think it's obvious that we need to try and reestablish our culture and standards around the football program. He knows the athletes by names. He supports them, challenges them, encourages them to reach their highest potential, things that I've seen and heard from these local athletes about Mr. Slater. I think we need more of this in our athletic school program here in Colstrip. I've coached football a couple of years now at middle school. I think this man's going to be a pivotal part turning this program around at the high school level. It takes unity, takes harmony amongst the two programs, and that's been something that I've been trying to establish each and every year. It includes supporting the coaches, the athletes, the administration, parents, everyone. One thing I'm tired of hearing is, why are we building a brand new stadium if we can hardly win a football game? I think it starts now. I think we have to make those positive decisions right now in order to build this program into what I believe we can reach it to be. I'm tired of the talking. I think we need to start getting going. I would encourage all of us to offer the support to Mr. Slater at this time. No more being divided, no more negative talk. Time to be positive. I think Mr. Slater is a huge positive for our young football program. He understands what it takes to be a part of a team on and off the field to be successful. And I would just encourage our sons and daughters, if they're on the fence about playing high school football this coming year, I want you to give him a chance. You all gave me a chance several years ago to be your middle school football coach, and I'm asking you to give him a chance as you gave me, because I believe he is the right man for the job. He has my full support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Any further board?
Can I say something after you take your vote? I don't know if it's appropriate yet to take your vote, so.
I don't know.
Depends on what you have to say.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's fine. With that, Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye.
So I'd like to just thank the interview committee and the board for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to working with Johnny to bring the middle school program and the high school program together as one, to align the programs, to get started. We're ready to get to work. Next week, Tuesday, we'll meet with the high school. Wednesday, we'll meet the middle school. Thursday, we'll meet with St. LaBret. So we're ready to get to work. So thank you very much.
Thank
That was my question. We're still gonna kind of,
I think our.
That's
call-
coming up, I guess.
good,
Okay.
good,
That'll be later.
good. Worked out well last year.
Yes, and they're looking forward to it as our.
Good. Good to hear. Thank you. Right. 504, CFA 4-day work week MOU.
Hello, I'm Randy Watson. We learned too long ago that we're actually sitting here discussing the last meeting and the calendars coming up. And as we had a discussion, it came up that there was a possibility of doing an MOU to try to help the 4-day have a possibility of moving forward. Of course, we took it instantly back the next day to our members and talked to them about, what do you want to do? Where are we at with that? And the MOU was actually developed in good faith by the union with the shared goal of having our district be able to give a 4-day a chance and a try. At our meeting, we discussed areas that would need looked at within the duty day part of our contract. That was where we were pretty upfront. The duty day was where there was a conflict. And we highlighted those areas. Those areas were also discussed with our group that showed up for the meeting that night. And then for the next day, when we went to take it to a vote, we made sure members were aware of the areas that would be addressed. We knew that the area that was outside of our duty day time at that time was the 7:40 start time. So we did adjust to 7:35 for our start time to kind of model the 5-minute difference between the start contract time and the student entry time this year. But it came to our attention this weekend, actually, that there were concerns coming from the board on concerns about the ending hours and how we would maybe need to extend that a little bit. our officers, which, Louise is our vice president, Marietta is our secretary, and Janelle is our treasurer. We're such an awesome team. I really am so proud that they work so well together with us and with all our members. So thank you for the members that are here. But being able to go out and get a vote even last night, to be able to offer a chance to extend it to 4/15, if that seems to be what the issue could be. We totally understood after having some good discussions. So never feel like you guys can't reach out to us because we're willing to discuss with you on different parts. But it seemed that the 4/15 was something that would help extend the day a little bit and sure in some of those hours, and we were willing to do that. Our discussion went to a vote. We did have another alternative part that came out that someone else had some other great ideas. But when we took those to the other two buildings, because we went kind of building by building to try to divide and conquer, it didn't pass in the other buildings. So what did pass was extending it and making it from 7:35 to 4:15. I did double check and touch base with Scott today on how would it work with the board meeting, and what our MOU currently says is till 4. But from making it all legal from our standpoint, what we can do is, you guys couldn't necessarily say to amend it, but we can present our own amended MOU. So I'd like to do that to you now, and that would be like what we want you to consider between those two. So our amended MOU would say that it would go until 4:15 instead of that 4 o'clock. So when you're voting, you of course could always go with the first one, or you could go with this second one when you were considering it, but this would be the one that we would be presenting as the amended MOU.
I'll need one as well.
Yeah, thanks. I'll get one just. Sorry, just trying not to trip over all these cords. I don't know how you guys do that.
Thank you.
Who else needs it? Right, so I just wanted to touch base on that and just let you know that, I think our members are just wanting to make sure, you know, that you guys know, we're trying to make it as smooth as possible to give this a go, give it a try. And on our end, again, it was just the duty day that needed adjusted. So we were willing to go around the whole negotiation piece and do an MOU if that's what you wish to go with from us. And let me know if you have questions.
Would that have changed your total in number 4 as well, or not?
So on number 4, that only is that way because it reflected the calendar that he had. So we only went off of what his calendar was that he gave us.
And that's just the student time?
The 159.5 is what he listed on that calendar as the staff days.
Okay,
Yeah, so we just followed exactly whatever we saw on the calendar for that.
okay.
Yep. Just meaning like if the calendar were to change, you would just have to update it with us and we would.
And is that a new clause? I'm sorry. Was that
Yeah.
clause was not in the original
No, it's
CBA?
not.
It was just
Having
meaning, it was just meaning that it would be like we were agreeing when we had our members vote with the MOU, because it was an MOU, not a negotiation piece.
Mhm.
That we were agreeing to go with the 4-day calendar that was presented to us, if that makes sense, that you guys were also going to vote on. So we were keeping it lined up with that 4-day calendar.
Even though the hours still fit within your minimum and maximum?
They do,
in that-
yeah, they do still fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just, okay.
So if we have that in there, why do we need number 7?
Number 7 is already in our contract. And so since Fridays wouldn't exist in this case, other than, I guess there's 2 technically, it made sense to make it the final scheduled instructional day for the week. Because that's the area that it ends on the week.
But you're skipping an entire day.
Yeah. Right.
I don't understand why number 7's gotta be in there either. We've gotta get these kids educated, right? We've gotta be there.
I'm not disagreeing. I think what it's addressing is they've already
So there's
left and they're
So there's
after 10 minutes
40
after.
there's 40 days that are like that at 10 minutes early is 400 minutes divided by 60 minutes. It's an additional 6.66 hours that you won't be at the district.
For the year?
We simply just heard you guys say you would like to have an MOU presented instead. We did such. some of the conversations we're having, unfortunately, we would have loved to have during like a negotiation of it, which it doesn't have to be, you know, a negotiation doesn't have to be a dirty word. It doesn't have to be a frustrating point. It just means a conversation. So while you're bringing up great things and ideas, that would be negotiating on it and having those back and forth moments, which we would, again, love to have. If you don't approve the MOU, that's totally fine. We could do that. But when you offered us to bring an MOU, we tried to do what we could with the information we had, which was the calendar provided to us
Did you ever go to Scott and
and
ask him?
the areas. We got the calendar from him and we had the duty date area, which is what we had, but we also had a huge time crunch. You know, we had our meeting, we had to meet with our members, we had to get a vote done. We had to then adjust everything. So it did make it more of a time crunch and a rushed thing than we would typically like to do. And
Did you guys ever
legally-
speak to the CCA?
I'm sorry, say again.
Did you ever speak to the CCA?
We do speak to the CCA at times on it, but their calendar or their duty day does not reflect our duty day. It's two different types of duty day because we're contracted on salary versus theirs is hourly, so it does reflect differently. But we just tried to do what we could do for you guys. You asked us to come with an MOU that you would like to have with the possibility of a 4-day. Our members were in support of it. They were willing to give up that legal right to negotiate to try to come with an MOU, and it's in your hands. We tried to do what we could to better our district, so.
Well, we asked for an MOU that we could act on, and this is
This one
not,
is actable.
yeah, it is. If we want to shave off time off of a contract,
It's still within the contract hours, our minimum and maximum.
not when you put in here that you want to leave 10 minutes, not when you put
But we
in,
didn't put that in there. That's in our existing contract. So
Okay.
if you go with
So
next,
if you-
like the
so-
hybrid calendar,
sure.
then we would still have that within our hybrid calendar of the time available that we leave 10 minutes after the buses leave on Friday, which if you go to any of our buildings, we are all still there for forever.
Right, but you could actually grieve that because we
Well,
would,
we choose to stay though.
Right,
We choose
you
to
do.
stay to work. We come in, before school starts,
Right.
we're all there weeks in advance. As soon as they give us the okay, like the custodians won't be angry at you, we are busting down those doors to get in there and work. So
then why do we need that in a contract
about being able to leave,
about a duty day at all?
because it sets those guidelines, just because people want to have those extra times, it's okay. But back to just keeping it professional here. I just want to make sure, like you asked us to come up with an MOU. We graciously did that. We took it on. We didn't have a lot of time to discuss. We didn't have that chance to sit down together like we would have loved to have. Nothing is done in this deceitful way. It's up to you guys to decide.
I
If you go
I
with it,
appreciate
great.
all the work you guys did on this MOU. There's a lot of time that's not on there.
Yeah.
For trainings.
Yeah.
I mean,
But we
we're cutting right down to the bare minimum of the hours and the days they're gonna be there. There's no wiggle room for anything. I
We went
just,
with the
I
calendar
just
that was
don't-
presented.
I mean, this 40 calendar is not that difficult.
No.
There's two ways to do it. You go longer in the year or you go longer in the day. All right, I mean, and it just,
I feel like if we
I'd like
We
to
need
see-
this settled before it even comes to the board.
I agree.
It needs to be settled prior to even coming here. So that when we get here, we don't have to table all these things and try to. Because even still, if we vote on one, then we have to go back and bargain with the CCA. And if that doesn't go well, we're back to the hybrid.
To be fair, though, you guys knew that at the last meeting before we did the extra work. So, I mean, we knew that was a possibility.
Right, but you guys have worked on this since October is when you guys started working on a 4-day calendar, so you would have to know that we'd need an MOU.
Only if it was going to actually happen, but we didn't know that. And neither
Well,
one of
you
our sides
guys
brought it up.
brought it to us thinking that we would do it, is what I'm saying. Like, you brought it to us. when we asked you to bring a calendar or, yeah, a calendar that we could take action on. And then,
But the calendar committee hasn't met since December.
I
So-
still just don't think you need a calendar committee to figure out a 4-day week. It's just extremely frustrating for me.
Yeah.
Because
Me too.
we're just back and forth.
Mhm.
And it's always, well, this is what was pretended. No, you know what a 4-day calendar looks like. You know that how it's gonna affect the CCA. It's just, I don't understand it. I'm not for this. I think in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, we need to stick with what we're doing until it's worked out.
It's fine. We just
There's-
tried to
there's
make
a
it
lot
as
of
best as possible for you.
what ifs.
so.
We're just back in negotiations to fill, like you said. I don't even know if we can get it done on that end.
I don't, yeah.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees not approve either MOU presented from the CFA.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any public comment on this? Marietta?
Could I make a suggestion? Could I just make a quick suggestion? If the overwhelming, support is for a 4-day, could the board or the superintendent push to have those meetings and, getting, the meetings to get everything in order starting in September instead of waiting until like October, November, December. That way there is a little extra time and maybe meet more frequently so that there can be some discussion on those issues to try to make it work.
I think we've already moved it up once, haven't we?
This year started really early.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How many
Yeah.
meetings for the calendar committee have? Five? Or maybe some more frequent meetings?
I don't think it's a calendar committee issue though. I think this is more of like a union issue between the unions and the
But we
district.
can't know what to change until the calendar is set. So
And we can't have a calendar until you tell us how many hours that you're gonna be willing to work.
we have it already. There's like a guideline in the contract. It's not up to make it anything rude or anything like that. But you asked us to bring an MOU and we did. Because you asked us to, so we did. You know, it was done in good faith. It was done in a non-deceitful way. We matched it to the calendar that we were presented for the 4-day. And it's okay if you don't want to approve it. That's not a problem. We're not gonna hold that against you guys. You have that right. So it's not a problem at all. And maybe. I told you before, I'm a person, you tell me when to show up and I'll be here. So.
Can anyone comment?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's discussion.
Come up to the podium, please. State your name, be recognized. We have to take minutes, well, we have to take minutes of all this, and it's awfully hard for Brandy, because sometimes, or for Brittany, sorry.
Oh, Randy, you don't even know your name.
Brittany, yeah. People pop up and down.
All
We
right,
gotta end
my
that.
name is Nikki Fairlane.
Thank you.
Okay.
That helps us.
And, honestly, as a teacher, I took a step back from this 4-day. First of all, you know, I mean, I got a lot going on in my personal life and I was like, man, if I can step away from something, this is what I'm gonna step away from. Second of all, I stepped away from it because honestly, I don't believe in a 4-day. I am not for a 4-day. I think that, our nation is falling apart in education, and for us to look at taking another day out of academics for our children is a terrible idea. When there's research and everything that shows that 4-day doesn't produce academic standards that we're looking for. But on the flip side of that, now that I'm too late in the game to help, and I honestly am, and I understand that, and you know, that's on myself and a lot of us within our union, because I've been having these conversations with people that I work with. We understand now we're too late in the game to speak up and make any changes. But I, for myself, and I'm not speaking for anyone else, I see both sides of this. And I do think that one way, and it has come up, and I think maybe that's what Brandy was referencing in ours, is that in our elementary building, we did ask that our school day stay the same. We understand that whole like 7:45 to 4:15 for kids who come early and kids who aren't picked up or picked up later, whatever. But we in the elementary want training days. We want to be able to know how that curriculum works that we have. I got a new curriculum. I don't know how to use it. I cannot adequately teach my kids on a 4-day or a 5-day, no matter how many days you give me, unless someone is there to walk me through how this works. And when we get our curriculum, the week school starts, I don't have time to dive into it. I would love if we looked at a 4-day for one Friday a month from like 8 to 2:30. Give me a training, make it adequate. Don't give me safe schools. Don't give me crap. Provide me with something that can better myself and my students and our district, because all we're doing is tearing ourselves down. We aren't providing what our students need right now. I know that I have an amazing new curriculum in my classroom that I'm doing an unjust job with. I would love to have more training to adequately provide for my kids the education they need. I would hate to have it happen on a 4-day. I honestly would. I think a 4-day is a bad idea. I think a 4-day, first of all, gets our kids up earlier. We can't even get our kids to be here on time at 8:05 on a 5-day. Now you guys are like, oh, 7:40? They're gonna make it. They ain't gonna make it. Like, there's gonna be more kids that are late. So why not look at starting at 8 o'clock and providing us with one Friday a month, whether that be working in my classroom, working in our PLCs, providing me with adequate training. We just started that something lover one. Can't remember what it's called.
Capturing kids.
Capturing kids' hearts. I'm not on that committee either. Clearly I'm not on that committee either.
Lovers is probably not appropriate word.
Anyways,
There's a lot of other training.
I
lead
do
into that.
I do think that there are ways for us to work around this, and I do think that we can figure something out. We have to give and be willing to say, and I want more training, and I'm not giving my time away. I'm providing myself at being a better educator. I'm not in education for the minutes and for the money. Honestly, if I wanted money, I'd work at the power plant, right? If I wanted a 4-day, I'd work at the power plant. My job here is to work with kids, and I know that I could do a dang good job at it. But when everyone's nickel and diming me on my days and my hours, it makes it so much harder. And our kids are coming in academically lower every single year. So how are we supposed to do an adequate job when we're cutting time and we're cutting days? If we're going to do it, we need to do it right. And it includes training and it includes appropriate time. When we have kids that ride for an hour and a half out of town, and then we're like, oh, you get on the bus at 6, boom, you're here to learn now. Stay here until 7 o'clock at night. Then you're going to ride home on an activity bus that only takes you part way. And let's hope your parents are on time to pick you up and drive you the rest of the way. At some point, we have to start thinking about our kids.
I agree.
And our kids come from out of district too. Let's give everyone a little meat in this game. I get it. I'm too late and I'm sorry about that. But I do think that now that we've seen it, if we take our time, there are people that will jump in. I'm one person that is willing to jump in now and figure it out. But again, I'm too late.
Thank you, Nikki. Anything else?
Hi, I'm Michelle Peterson. I am on the calendar committee. And we did meet and up until December, and then we kind of waited for a little while, and then we met again in March one time.
I think start of March, end of February, right in there. Yep.
Yeah, and so the calendar that was presented is what Scott put together. And so the end of that with the 4-day, there wasn't a lot of, like, we were able to give input through sending him calendars, but we didn't like meet anymore. So what you got for a calendar is what Scott was able to put together. And that was it. And so then the MOU is based on the calendar that we got and the contractual hours within the current contract. So it has to meet that. There are other, we can't add hours to that calendar right now because it's not in the contract. So I felt like Brandy did a really good job of meeting that criteria. And that's all we're trying to do is just stay within our contract. And I also feel like a lot of our kids need that break on a Friday. And a lot of our teachers need that break on a Friday. And we have a lot of communities in our area that are going to 4-day and they seem to be doing well. And the teachers feel refreshed and some even didn't retire because they liked the 4-day. So they stuck with it for a few more years. So I'd like to, we just said in committee one time, I just said, I just want to try it and just see what it does for our community. And that is one less day to go through. Because our middle schoolers come to school in a zombie state for the most part, and it takes them a little while to wake up. And I feel like with sports and all that they're involved in, even traveling teams that don't have to do with school, they're busy. So I feel like that would give them the break that they need. And I want to see all our staff back. So I agree with Nikki. And in the past, when we had a curriculum director that would bring us in for new trainings, and it would be in the summer. And but if they're getting their curriculum too late, then I don't need to be there. I don't need to be at a Pine View how to teach reading training, but you can take your individual curriculums and work with those people and pay them to be at the training so that they know what they're doing. And that is what we did in the past, and that worked really well. So that's my 2 cents. Do you have questions for me? Okay, thank you.
What else? Any board?
I'll just say I've always been for a 4-day just because that's what I work and I really enjoy it. But when I opened this MOU, I was really disheartened because I was hoping for just equitable to what was in the language, just to allow the 4-day to work. And so putting strictly 159.5 duty days, like adding that clause to number 4. And then I appreciate how you went back and fixed the time and the actual duty day. But those 2 things to me, opening it and reading it, felt really underhanded. And that might not have been the intention, but that's what it felt like. Because I was hoping, right now, you come in 10 minutes before school starts. I was hoping that would stay. You don't leave until 15 to 20 minutes after the bell rings. I was hoping that would stay, but those changed.
Well, we come in 5 minutes before school starts at the earliest school, so that's what we kept it to. Because there's not staggered starts with the calendar. And the 159.5 days, it really did truly come from that's on the calendar and on there. So it was, when our members discussed, we said, if we're saying this is exactly the calendar that we're for sure using, then the MOU matches that exact calendar so that it wouldn't turn into a whole different MOU or a whole different 4-day calendar later on than the one that we all agreed on when we wrote the MOU. So that was why that was there.
Okay. But I mean, even though we have minimum and maximum hours already in the contract that we would not go over, I just felt like this was more restrictive. I did feel like, hey, let's sneak in some hours here. Like, I don't know why it couldn't have just been equitable to what was there. And that's why I can't move forward with approving it, because I just don't think it was done in good faith, honestly.
It really truly was done in good faith, and it's okay to have different feelings on it, and we're not gonna hold it against if you guys don't want to approve it, that's fine. That's totally your right. Maybe, maybe there's a idea behind it where if we're starting the MOU, or maybe we could start like an MOU type situation, or maybe not an MOU, maybe it would be more of a negotiation, but like call it more of a meeting with 4-day with the calendar piece and go through all together, starting in that September zone 2. Maybe it could be more reflective as one is being built, the other can find any areas and make adjustments. And maybe it would be better to look at it, not frustration based, but more solution based for next year. If that's something that members are saying, if I'm hearing that people are getting too early for the start time, maybe there's something we can adjust that way. I've also heard other districts have like the first month or so Friday for the whole first month, and you have 5 days for the whole first month. And that's how you can bank some extra days. And then after that, you go into 4 days. So there's lots of great options out there. And maybe this isn't our year, and that's okay. That's okay to say that. Maybe we need to just sit down and have those conversations. That's where that negotiating piece is powerful, be able to have talks back and forth. And we could have sat down at the table and said, hey, what do you like? What do you don't like? And that's okay. It's all right. There's no hard feelings on this one. We just tried to bring one truly good faith, nothing in any other way. We just tried to match the exact calendar that was given to us. And it's okay if it didn't work this year. Now we could, if it's something we want to look at for next year, then we could. We didn't do all the work ahead of time because we've literally had 4-day brought up to us like what, 5 times now over the years. So I guess you kind of wonder, will it actually happen? But it's okay if we want to try to get some work done on it in advance next year in collaboration with the calendar. That might be a good option. We could make it a little more viable to come to you guys and be able to actually be something you would feel confident voting on. Keep it solution based.
Heather Willoughby is on.
Go ahead, Heather.
Hi, sorry, my mic didn't want to come on. My name's Heather Willoughby. I just wanted to say one tiny thing. You guys said that the committee, that this issue is not a committee issue, it's a union issue. I agree, but I would like to point out that the committee is literally representation from both unions, administration and non-affiliated. That's what the committee is. And I just wanted to point that out, that yes, it is a union issue. That's why there's union representation on the committee from both unions.
Right.
Right.
And I think the committee can work just fine as long as we get to meet and have calendars to look at right away.
Okay, thank you. Any further, board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 5.05. CCA.
My name is Connie Mack. I am the president of the CCA union here in town. At our last board meeting, when we discussed this, we talked about how we would have to go to bargaining. So I just submitted a letter, had Rachel, do you want me to read it? Or you guys have a copy of it?
We have it.
So, yeah, so if we do go to 4-day, we are willing to go to negotiations with guys, or would like to go to negotiations.
Thank you.
So, yeah, thank you.
I move that the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves to open negotiations with the CCA if the 4-day week is approved.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any public comment on this? Any further, board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 5.06.
Well, in light of the MOU not passing, I will need to bring to you a calendar in April. So I'll be bringing to you the Colstrip Public Schools 26-27 5-day hybrid 1,385 calendar as presented. Title is on the top for the 26-27 school year.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the hybrid calendar for the 26-27 school year.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any public comment on this?
Terry Bones online.
Terry?
Hi, this is Terry. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, because I don't have access to the calendar with the board docs being down, I know that the 4-day, the seniors, were not accurate. I just wanted to make sure that the senior hours were accurate on this one before you passed it.
So if I understand it right, you guys are actually taking the days and the teacher hours. Okay. I'm not sure on the hours for the students, if that ever needs adjusted or,
They're required by the state to have 1050.
right, we have to do it one way or the other.
Yeah. Mhm.
But this one is adjusted and the other one was corrected too. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's all. I just wanted to make sure before you passed it so you could amend it if it needed to and we didn't have to come back.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, what, I guess, I don't know when this new one is. What is the start time?
8:10,
This is the same.
It's the
It was
same.
It's the 8:10 one.
8:10, 8:15 for middle school.
Yep. Anything else? Board?
I'll just say my opinion on the 4-day. In the best interest of the kids, I do not think a 7:40 start time is appropriate,
I agree.
especially for little kids. I have kids in every single school and even my older kids, it would be hard to get them to school on time, I feel like, and I live in town. So I think if we're going to do a true 4-day, we're gonna have to look at a week before and a week after. We're gonna have to extend the year. We can't extend the day. That's too long. I personally feel like that's not in the best interest of kids. And so that's why I cannot support the 4-day calendar. And that's why I think the hybrid is our best option for next year.
I'd have to agree. You know, some of those kids that are coming from down south and getting on the bus already early enough. I know it goes by, you know, my place at 6:40. And so we'd have to be now getting on the bus at 5:30 to get.
Your first bus pickup for the Ashland route, if you change it, would be 5:25, 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's if you're of good weather. On mornings like this morning, it would have to be earlier
If they could get there earlier.
if they could get there. But I mean, a lot of times when the roads are
So then you're,
bad, the bus driver is either early or he's late. I mean, so those parents are then sitting there because none of your bus stops are near the children's houses. I mean, my
Right.
kids drive 6 miles to get to the bus stop.
With that, Francis.
Aye.
Sabrina.
Aye.
Tiff.
Aye.
Aye.
Someday
Someday.
we'll make it work.
507 graduation requirements.
Robin, do you wanna
Yeah,
add
everybody have a
anything?
copy of that.
We've got copies.
We went to the steering, we removed the keyboarding requirement, because they are gonna get keyboarding before they hit the high school now. It'll be very helpful, which changed, elective credits and, we just clarified at the bottom there, all students 9 through 12 have to be enrolled in an English credit. All students grades 9 through 11 must enroll in at least one elective credit, 1 credit of math, and 1 credit of science. So actually, I don't think this is the most recent one I sent you because it also said, one about history. Grades 9 through 11 must enroll at least one.
Yeah, I didn't print it out. It's the last minute.
Yeah.
Updates they pulled from what they had online, so.
We wanna push this till next meeting so we can look at the stuff.
Well, I'm just wondering, is it?
that it?
This is the copy you sent.
What was it missing?
Well, I thought that it said, in grades 9 through 11 must enroll at least one elective, 1 credit in math, 1 credit of science, and 1 credit in history.
Can you go up a little bit?
History would be 10 through 12.
Oh, cause I remember asking you about the history, right? If you wanted to list that.
It's good on that one. Then let's push it because the one that went to steering was correct.
Yeah.
So this one, Okay,
Yeah, let's.
We can
just
push
say,
that
just so
till-
you have the right
Cause it
one.
had history on
But
there.
Tiffany
Okay.
will have that copy from steering.
I have all my notes.
Your big changes, the only change was.
I do have it here, Robin.
Do.
You should have clarified
Yeah.
history.
It's here.
Yeah, cause I
All
asked them.
students in grades 10 through 12 must enroll in at least one credit in history of government.
So that's. the-
Took out keyboarding, took out beginning of, with class of 2025. Took
Yeah.
out, yeah.
I think all that got changed except for the history's not on this one.
Can you read that again, Tiffany? I know.
Where it says all students, is that what you'll be reading?
10 through 12.
All students in grades 10 through 12 must enroll in at least one credit of history or government.
That's okay. Can we approve that if
Yeah,
that's the correct one? I mean, the correct one was approved as steering.
so
we can approve that no right there because it was done at steering. So we can go ahead and, yeah.
Or credits of English.
and it's not a change, it's a clarification. She had not listed history, so I just said, should we put that on there too? So it's not adding or taking anything away from requirements. It's not an addition, it's just a
And it
clarification.
was, and then just the clarification on the course description and code.
The only
Yeah.
two changes were removing keyboarding, which changed electives from 6.5 to 7. So those, everything else was just that.
Yeah.
So students that had a keyboarding, that'll count as an elective now?
And it, I mean, kids still fill their computer requirement if they've had it, so.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the revised graduation requirements, including that students grades 10 through 12 must enroll in one credit of history or government.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any public comment on this? Any for the board?
Question. Did you want to take off the beginning of the class of 2025 after?
Yes.
cancel the
Yes,
next seat?
that was.
Yeah, that's
That was
true.
what we're talking about, yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure we make it right.
Any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
I wouldn't mind this, I have to keep this on. Since that's already over.
5.08. CCA MOU for the warehouse cart. You need any clarification on that, Connie?
No, Brittany and I went over it.
I was just asking, yeah,
In the MOU.
we were just asking to repeat last year's MOU basically to use a co-op student. It's worked really good this year. Robert Blanchard is doing amazing, so we would like that opportunity if we need it next year, so.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the MOU for the central warehouse position.
Second.
Yeah, motion second. Any public comment on this? Any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 5.09.
Yeah.
So, at this point, we will be going to, executive session. For the, student attendance agreements. That will be back. Moving back to session.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approve the minutes from the executive session.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second with that. Francis.
Aye.
Sabrina.
Aye.
Tiff.
Aye.
Aye.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the FP14 out-of-district applications for the following students. Number 100, 102, 105, 106, 107, 108, 110, 111, 112, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, 137, 139, 140, 141, 142, 143, 145, 146, 147, 148, 149, 150, 151, 152, 153, 154, 155, 156, 157, 159, 160, 161, 163.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Okay, on that, so with that, I'll go to the vote. Francis.
Aye.
Sabrina.
Aye.
Tiff.
Aye.
Aye.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees deny the FP14 applications for students number 162 and 138.
Second.
Okay, a motion second. With that, Francis.
Aye.
Sabrina.
Aye.
Tiff.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 5.10, request to move regular May 25th board meeting. So yeah, that is Memorial Day. We have our regular meeting on the 11th. I have Monday, the 18th is not good for me. But I mean, any day that week would be fine with me. I would think Tuesday, Wednesday, or
The week of the 18th.
Or do you want to move it
But
back?
not the 18th.
what do you want? What do you mean?
Or do you want to move it to like the 26th?
Oh, I can, either way, I'm fine with. I'm just open to suggestions. I was thinking about getting it done earlier, but I don't
Okay.
have a problem with,
I could do the 20th of May.
Okay, the 20th.
I should be good with the 20th.
Courtney's like,
Hold on a second. That sounds bad. Okay, maybe not. Okay, good. Good. I can do that day.
I may not be able to be there because my last class that I'm in, the ed finance class, each Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Be the last day of our meetings.
Okay.
Class is the 20th.
good for the 20th.
I'm good for the 20th.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay, I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees move their regularly scheduled meeting from May 25th to May 20th.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any public comment on that? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie? Or I'm sorry, Tiff?
Aye.
Chris, will you Put that on calendar right away, please. All right. Well. MTSBA membership renewal.
Want to renew?
Yes.
Yes.
How much is it?
I pulled those numbers,
Yeah.
and you're gonna ask.
15.
So last year it was 5,000, or this year it's 5,430, and last year it was 5,356, so a difference of $74.
Does that include that legal portion and the HR portion?
Yeah, it includes policy service management, HR, employment risk management, labor relations, and strategy maintenance.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approve the MTSBA membership renewal as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any public comment on this? Any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. All right, with that, we'll move into some of our work session, transportation facilities. Not all at once.
Don't have anything transportation wise, but athletics, we go over, and Ms. Nancy talked about this last time, but the three BL conference players, Leah Harris, first team player, Kenley Fulton, second team player, Keaton Hills, second team player. We will continue to co-op with St. Henry for football next football season. The high school had their winter sports night, March 26th, and then the stadium. We all know if you see it, they started demolition and completed it right the week they started at the beginning of March. Activities wise, the middle school music festivals held Forsyth, March 27th. The high school FFA attended state convention in Great Falls was March 30th through that whole week through that Saturday, the 4th. The district had their science fair, April 1st. The high school had spring concert, April 16th. The high school district music festival was Friday, April 14th through Saturday, the 18th at Miles City. The band got a superior rating on performance. They got a superior rating on site rating. Drumline got a superior rating, and the Colstrip Quintet got a superior rating. So the drumline and quintet were qualified for state, which starts this Friday at Billy Sky. And then the high school had its National Honor Society inductions last Tuesday, and the middle school carnival was Thursday, 23rd.
Very good.
We had they've already had a leak. Meeting right off the shut off rack. Connie came in, fixed it. That's back. That which is good. It's spring stuff. Nothing a whole lot to talk about.
I know this is work session, so I was wondering if we could possibly discuss, we have the wind farm money that we've never used. We've just kind of set it aside, that abatement money. Would we be able to possibly look at using that to revamp some of the other bathrooms in this building? Replace the fixtures? Because it's been sitting there and I mean, I like having it in savings, but after looking at all of our other funds and what kind of shape we're in for that, it might be nice to get some more of that maintenance done.
I've had a conversation with Mr. Slater on a few other things too that kind of got overlooked on that bond. None of them are gross as far as finances, what it would cost, like the wrestling room, getting that redone. With the way we sit in that bond, we should have some interest money that we could probably do, even if we didn't want to get into that next year. We might be able to fix that with,
Okay.
with that.
Yeah.
But that's something we'll discuss when we get to
Next.
that closure,
Yeah,
right? So,
okay,
We'll
because I
have
was wondering if, I mean, we have the next era money,
mhm.
if we could use that over the summer just to replace some of the fixtures. Because that's something your crew can probably do, Robert. Like the dividers, and only if we replace what's existing and just put the new stuff in, we're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, if we're just upgrading, if we're not like making any remodeling or making any changes, we're okay there.
Sure, we've done it before.
Okay.
Well, school has-
But I mean, if we need new toilets.
Yeah.
And the dividers, sinks, mirrors, that kind of stuff. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, some of the purchases and things, in your spare time. Dig up some quotes on some of that stuff.
Okay, I'll just go back to the same place we had last year.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be nice to refresh as much as we can
Sure.
here.
Yep.
And then if we have interest money left from the bond, I would like to possibly take that and go to the coal board as well for the pool locker rooms. Because that's a huge community,
It is.
being able to teach kids how to swim, I think could be a good project to take to the coal board. And then if we have some money from the bond left over, we can show that we have matching funds, or, we're willing to
Sure.
put some in
Mhm.
to get that.
Mhm.
But I think,
No, I'm totally fine with all that. Like I said, there's just some things that have been
yeah.
kind of overlooked that
Mhm.
I wanted to bring to the board when it was appropriate and when we could.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the next ceremony, but that's something that we could do and then even possibly reimburse ourselves.
Mhm.
So there's options there that we can explore when it's time.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. It works.
How long does it take to get stuff like that in?
I think it was like a couple weeks that time, but I'd say
Okay.
like a month to be on the safe side.
So if we did something by the 1st of May, when the kids are gone, it should be here by June-ish.
And we have to do what we did last
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you're right.
Could
Okay.
you quote like the number of sinks, number of toilets, number of partitions, like for each bathroom? So that we could see how many we could do maybe?
Yeah, because they broke it out on the last time too.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely. No policy. Tech?
All right, so I know my agenda is a little long, so I'll just highlight three things. The big one is the bond project on the Colstrip Public Schools website. Thank you to Superintendent Otremba, Tyler Bush, and other district staff members that gathered us a lot of info, a lot of photos. We're still working on it, but if we can get anybody to share any photos, we're looking to put them on there, share any info that we have. Number two, the vape sensors are operational at the middle school. They had not been operational for a period of time. Wanted to say thank you to Principal O'Toole. She's not here, but thank you for making sure that the equipment was working properly. We didn't know until she reached out. Last thing, the E-rate update. For category 1, the ISP bid was granted to Range, and we look forward to continuing to work with them. We have a couple projects in mind, especially within the next year or two. And the category 2 equipment, which was a lot of our switches, UPS backups, and that kind of stuff, was not purchased. We wanted to prevent any risk violating strict compliance rules. That would jeopardize our funding and just kind of protect the district financially. And those are the three big things for my agenda. Is there anything you guys wanted to go over?
Did that E-rate contract that it has the built-in for us to be able to move that hub up to the high school this year
Correct.
or this summer?
Yes, we chose to do it month to month instead of year. So it allows us to cut that the internet at middle school at any point and move it to the high school.
And so in the meantime, are we gonna try to be working on moving that infrastructure up? Do we have like a planned date of when we were going to do that?
So I'm gonna follow and meet up with the superintendent and get his game plan on what he wants to do timeframe wise, because a lot of moving parts
Yeah.
with that, and just kind of get a game plan together. I'll let you know on an update on that. Okay.
Yep, and
Welcome aboard too. You know, good job on your first one.
Communication. I don't really have an update on that right now.
I think it's just really important for us to not be reactive.
Correct.
So the
Yeah.
things like moving the internet and the phone, we keep moving forward with.
Mhm.
Because those are big things that would have to happen immediately. So I think we just keep moving forward with those kind of projects. That way,
The inevitable, for sure. Yes, like the,
yeah.
I kind of had something. I was asked during the meeting to provide impact aid numbers, and I wasn't able to come up with those that night, so I didn't want to let that go. So our projected payment to be for this coming year is approximately $111,000 in the elementary and $62,000 in the high school. And then our impact aid funds help to operate the pool. Some uses for the sped department, assembly, speakers, utilities, local extracurricular bus expenses, etc. It can be used on anything needed to operate the school to provide an education to students. So
okay. Anything else? Steering committee?
You wanna just, I think. Bart-
Short version?
Yeah,
Okay, we're looking at doing some restructuring in the way we progress monitor students and things at the elementary. So we proposed to the steering committee that we eliminate map testing, star reading and star math at the elementary and replace it with a program called FastBridge. It's a much more accurate assessment. It's quicker to take, takes less class time, and it provides usable data for students. We went up to the Billings School District and looked, that is what they are utilizing. In Billings, it's kind of modeling after what they have going on up there. It's a pretty good deal. Dollar for dollar, I think over a 5-year spread, it's going to be about $800 more. So it's kind of apples to oranges. There is a little bit more upfront cost this year. Brittany, I think we have those numbers out of the steering committee. Somewhere around $8,000, maybe. Don't hold me on it, but to look it up. So the first year it is a little bit more, but then it's less in the following years. So it offsets that, but it's a pretty good deal for kids and a really good deal for my staff as we move forward and being able to progress monitor and provide tier 2 interventions for those kids that need it in the classroom, and start whittling away and cutting down on some of our SPED numbers and our title numbers. So kids they help it, they need in the classroom. So it's a pretty effective tool for that.
He had some teachers speak on it as well. So, and it was pretty much a wash as far as with the maps and everything. It was pretty much a no-brainer to just go ahead and get this done. So.
right? Oh, yeah. And I used it myself and mentioned it to Derek when he was here and Bart last year. Didn't even realize that they jumped on it. We're going forward with it. So, because it does really present staff with usable interventions for kids. So they did a great job. Find you, Tim and his staff, going to Billings and research it all, and see their further work here and improve things for our kids. So, good job to Mr. Bailey and crew.
It'll be good. All right, and with that.
Did you have any for your?
I can talk about.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
There's some steering, just some of those.
I didn't put that down yet.
Okay.
Take it back.
Take it back.
I just heard the bam. I didn't hear we're dismissed, so.
We went over that graduation requirements.
Right.
And then, the steering committee approved adding, guitar 2, digital photography 2, Photoshop 2. And then we did 3 integrated learning, course codes, a school-based enterprise, like they have a coffee shop, independent study, so they could do, like we have kids doing an aviation class right now, preparing for after high school. And integrated learning workplace experience, which will replace our co-op class, just matches up the codes with the state. And then changing, those were all new, and then changing our FFA career development class to leadership, which will open it up to a broader range of kids and not just FFA members. And then we went over our dual credit classes, but I'll have that on my report next one.
Thanks, Robin.
Very good.
I have nothing else, Mr. Committee.
All right, with that meeting adjourned.
I'm not gavel.